We spent the entire night slapping the shit out of my buddy and almost got him thrown out of our friend's house. Senior year of high school, I don't remember if we went to a party and came back or we were drinking at my buddy 7-5's house and then called it a night. But long story short, my buddy 7-5 had a group of us over crashing at his place in his basement. And he had a huge basement, one of those walkout basements that had like a kitchen, a couple bedrooms, a big living room, and all this space downstairs. So we usually, when we were going to parties in northern Kentucky, we'd usually come back and crash at 7-5's just because of the amount of people he could have sleep in his basement. And I think everyone has that friends when you're in high school and you just are early on in your drinking stage. There's always one friend that's just constantly a dick when they get drunk enough, and that was Beef. So 7-5 has a group of probably 7 or 8 of us, and it was like a combination of the cross-country guys and his lacrosse friends. Me and my buddy, we'll call him Kaysen, we watched Beef come back drunk, kick 7-5 out of his own bed because the only person Beef was bigger than was 7-5. So he literally kicked 7-5 out of his bed, and 7-5 takes it like a champ. Like, oh, no, it's all good. You can sleep in my bed. And you could tell 7-5 was irritated by it, but let Beef crash in there. So that was when Kaysen and I made the decision that we were going to teach Beef a lesson that night. And now, granted, it was also for our own entertainment, but we wait till Beef passes out, and it's like probably 12:30, 1 in the morning at this point. And we wait till everybody's asleep, all the lights are out. But again, it's a big open basement and there was a ton of windows and stuff. So we're just using the moonlight to kind of guide our way through this basement. We hear Beef snoring in 7-5's room. Again, door wide open because everybody's just passed out drunk in random places. We just wait for it. Bam, I slap the shit out of Beef and we go running out of the room. And we act like we dive onto the floor. We act like we're asleep. And we hear Beef wake up. Huh! And we're covered our mouths, tried so hard not to laugh. We see Beef looking around, and then he goes back, he passes out. Wait a few more minutes, go back in, and this time Kaysen's videotaping, so it's literally his phone flashlight right on Beef, and I'm just like, bam! I slap the shit out of him again. We go running out of the room. This time Beef gets up, comes marching out of the bedroom. Who was slapping me? Fucking knock that shit off! And again, me and Kaysen are like laying on the ground, acting like we're asleep, trying so hard not to laugh. Like, I think everyone knows that feeling when you're literally holding your breath, just trying so hard not to laugh. We're just like acting like we're asleep in the crowd of people. So we wait a little bit longer. Beef goes back to sleep. We go in there. And I clock him. Boom, a third time. I slap the shit out of him and we go running out and dive on the ground. Now this time, he woke up pretty quick, so he's chasing us. But again, it's dark, so he can't tell who's actually running away. So we dive out into the living room, act like we're asleep again, and he jumps on a different kid who had nothing to do with the situation, and he's shaking him. Quit fucking slapping me. Knock that shit off. And the kid's like, dude, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, I'm not the one slapping you. You woke me up. So now Beef's all confused, and he knows that somebody's slapping him, but he doesn't know who it is. So he goes back into 7-5's bedroom, calls it a night or whatever. And me and Kaysen are like, dude, we gotta stop. Like, this is getting out of control. But let's go do it one more time. So we go in. Kaysen's got his phone light, and I'm like, are you ready? He's like, yeah, do it. So I'm like, all right. And right as I go to cock back and hit him, Beef rolls over, and he's like, you son of a bitch. We're like, oh my God, run. So we run out into 7-5's basement. In the staircase, there was like a walk-down staircase that split the basement in half, and it was like this big square that wrapped around the staircase. So me and Kaysen go running in different directions, loop back around. So Beef has to make a decision on who he's going to chase. So Kaysen runs and literally dives under a table. I come sprinting around, and again, Beef being kind of disoriented, can't keep up with me, so I dive under the table. So me and Kaysen are both under the table. And the best way to describe it is like the scenes in Jurassic Park where they're hiding under the car, and you see the dinosaur's foot come by. Because Beef comes around the corner and he's breathing so heavy. And he's angry, right? It's like that angry, heavy breathing. He's like, and me and Kaysen are literally laying under the table, trying so hard not to laugh because he's irate, right? And at this point, he's probably not even drunk. Like, he knows that one of these motherfuckers is slapping him. And he's, And we are literally just sitting there hiding. And finally, one of our buddies is like, Beef, what are you doing? Go to bed. And he's like, people are fucking slapping me. And he's screaming, people are slapping me in the face. And we're trying so hard not to laugh. And they're like, one of our other friends is like, dude, how about you just go to bed and quit chasing him? And he's like, well, you're not the one getting slapped in the face. He's just irate. Goes back into 7-5's bedroom. We wait like an hour. And like I said, this took place over the course of like 2 hours. So it's like 2 or 3 in the morning at this point. And Kason and I, for some reason, just couldn't fall asleep. So we're like, all right, one more slap. Just one more slap. So we go in. We go in, literally army crawl into 7-5's room. Get in there. And I just slam. Well, he immediately wakes up, jumps out of bed, and I'm like, run, 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 run. He comes running out. We're literally hiding in the pitch black. Beef comes out. Now he's pissed. Thomas, I know it was you, you motherfucker. And he's screaming at me and shit. I act like I'm out cold. I'm just hiding. Kason's laughing his ass off. And we're literally hiding. And finally, like a light turns on upstairs. 7-5 comes down. And he's like, you know what, Beef? I'm sick of this shit. You do this type of drunk shit all the time. Go to bed. You already took my bedroom. Like, you need to go to bed or we're calling your freaking parents, dude. Like, we're done. We've had enough. Beef's face is literally like beet red from me slapping him repeatedly. So then Beef is pissed. He's like, is anyone going to acknowledge that I'm being slapped in the face? Like going on one of those type of angry rants that every friend knows about, right? Me and Kason just laughing all night. The next day we wake up and Beef's like, I know you motherfuckers were slapping me all night. And then we were able to like laugh it off after the fact. And then 7-5 was like, you guys were slapping him all night. We're like, dude, all night. And the rest of our friends were like, they spent like 2 hours just slapping him in the face. And we're like, yeah, dude, because he took your bed. And 7-5's like, yeah, you know what? I'm glad they slapped you because you were sleeping in my bed. Like you just took my bedroom over and didn't even ask me. Like, so it was one of those hilarious conversations the next day when we were eating breakfast upstairs. Just one of my favorite memories. And in complete honesty, like I get a lot of hate in the comments about like, oh, this kid's stuck in high school. This kid's all he does is share high school stories. Like, first of all, it's not true. I've got a lot more stories than just my high school era. But for me, my real goal with this is just to share those memories about people who have had significant impacts in my life. And those 3 friends, Griff, Beef, and 7-5, those guys, I don't even know if they realize just how much of an impact they had on me because they're some of the most genuine friends that I've ever had. And like I said, I was a dick in high school. I've made a lot of mistakes growing up. And even as I got into this career, like it's hard to find people who understand what the goal and the vision is. And even though those guys might not always understand what I'm trying to do with Talks with Tom, they haven't turned on me. They haven't turned their back on me. They have stood by my side and continued to support what I'm doing on here. And that means a lot to me. So, and for me, like these are memories. I don't know why they pop into my head. Like I said, every day I just kind of wake up and whatever story pops in my head or whatever memory slides in, I that's the story I share. So to have those guys, just I hope those guys know how much they mean to me. Beef, Griffin, 7-5. If you guys ever watch this, like those are memories that I'll have for the rest of my life. Those are memories that if I have kids, they'll get to hear about someday, because those guys will be in my friend group the rest of my life, And not just those guys, but like other friends that I've had and family members. Like that's something that I don't really voice on here a lot is like you need good people like that who are always going to be there for you and have your back, cuz like it's tough to be, the spot that I'm in right now. A lot of people might look at that and go, "Oh, like he's doing all right with his social media, like semi-successful." And it's like, yeah, on paper it looks pretty good, but like the money that I'm making is not enough to actually sustain this just as what it is, right? Or like Talks with Tom isn't paying any bills for me without still having a 9-to-5 job or some type of supplemental income on top of that. And it is tough at times because you look at it like, man, in a way, like you feel like a failure because for me, like I don't really care about a blue check mark or the number of followers I have. I just want to be able to use these stories and my perspective to take care of my friends and family. and hopefully get them to, and hopefully put us in a position where they can come on the podcast and I can financially assist them or support them. And that's the other part. It's like, do any of my friends and family really need help from me? No. It's just the goal that I have is to hopefully take care of them and assist them in the lives that they're living as well. So, and I think that's where a lot of social media people, in my opinion, lose the plot. Like, there's a lot of people that when they're coming up, I would really enjoy watching their content and kind of studying it for my own inspiration and following. But there's so many people that I feel like they just lose the plot. Like, the content goes from this genuine, funny, or super entertaining or interesting stuff, and then they just get caught up in like all the ads and trying to secure endorsements for money, which I understand. Like, yeah, everybody wants to make a bag, but for me, I'd probably continue to live the same lifestyle I'm living. I want that bag so I can take care of the people that I want around me. So all that to say, I'm really appreciative of those three friends, specifically Beef, Griff, and 7-5. Like I said, someday, hopefully someday, even if it's when we're in the nursing home, we can sit around and kick back and share these stories with all four of our perspectives, and they're not just mine. Because, like I said, those guys really, I wouldn't have any stories from high school without those three. Those guys are some of the most entertaining and genuine dudes that I've ever met. I appreciate the hell out of them. I hope they know that. And I just hope for everybody out there that you get to have those type of genuine friends in your life, because I think the true test of a genuine friendship is not necessarily like when everything's going well and your life is good and you're killing it. It's the down days where you feel alone and feel like, you might not be doing what you need to do, or you feel like you might be failing in life. Like, those are the days that you really need people by your side, and Beef, Griff, and 7-5 have always been there for me, even now that we're in our mid-20s. And I wish them nothing but success in their fields. Not everybody wants to be a podcast or social media stuff. Like, that's just my dream. And for them, you hope that I wish them nothing but success. I think that's the dumbest thing. And you see friends get jealous of each other. Like, those three, I wish nothing but success in their career fields. And if they want to come on as a guest on my social media stuff, that's great. If not, then I just hope that I can send them a check in the mail down the line once a year. Like, those are the things that really mean a lot to me. And those guys, like I said, mean a lot to me. And that's kind of, a lifelong friendship, man. That's a special thing, and you don't get that very often. And those three are definitely guys that I look at in that category. So appreciative of them, appreciative of all my friends and family that continue to support this. And Beef. Sorry we had to slap the shit out of you that night, but one of my favorite memories from high school. So I hope everybody's well. We'll be back with more episodes soon, and that's it. Talks with Tom.
Taking shots by the lake till I can't even breathe no more, see no more. I was riding around town thinking to myself, is it gonna get easier? I'll be up and away up the street and bake, but I can't even breathe no more. What's it to me? What can I see?